All right, now please introduce yourself.
I am Julian Greene.
Julian Greene. Now, what is your said profession? And the reason why I have you on my show today?
I am beginning the process of tattoo modeling.
Beginning the I think you're well in there.
I'm getting my foot in the door.
You're getting your foot in the door. That's awesome. And I noticed that you're also. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so how did you get started? Start tattoo modeling?
So I had been following a photographer, Anthony Amadeo, very talented, out of Brooklyn. And he reached out to me in August of last year and told me he needed a tattoo model for a shoot that he had coming up. Obviously, I feel like I fit the part for that pretty well, so I showed up, and the images that we got that day just went really well on his profile and mine as well. And from that shoot on, pretty much consistently been asked to continue shooting with local photographers.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right, now, so I guess you could say, was he the one that inspired you to start modeling technically? Or?
Yeah, I definitely never thought that I had the look for it, but I think once you invest, X amount of dollars into covering yourself in tattoos, you kind of open yourself up to a little bit wider of a range.
Right.
So modeling never crossed my mind because I've got quite the goofy face.
Yeah.
But some people dig it.
The goofy face. No, you're fine. And then I'll skip to a different question, but so this kind of aligns. So when you started getting a ton of ink, were you hoping to become a tattoo model, or that was just like you just said, that's just kind of happened?
Yeah, I definitely didn't have any faith in that at the time. I was very young. I was 17, getting tattooed every single Tuesday morning. So
what?
I
Really?
was. It was more or less just like a get what I had planned out finished, and if it turned out well, that was great. But definitely didn't think that I would be modeling.
Really? At 17? That's crazy. Dude, I'm 18. I have three tattoos. They're small, but
right.
and I just started getting those in January, and I turned 19 in a month or two, month and a half.
Okay.
That, although I do have plans.
Yeah.
I have plans. But yeah, let me get to another question. So, when getting the tattoos on your neck and hands and stuff like that, and just for anyone wondering, I am recording this interview, so if you would like to see what Julian here looks like or anything like that over this interview, yeah, wave to the cameras. Hi there, buddy. You can also go follow him on Julian Greene with an E at the end 2 on Instagram, or Julian Greene 1 on Twitter. Correct. All right, cool. And now my question here on my paper. Wow, my computer's playing a song. I didn't mean to do that. Now, next question was, when getting the tattoos on your neck and hands, were you ever worried that you wouldn't acquire as many job opportunities as you were hoping, or?
So I actually committed to tattooing my knuckles prior to graduating high school.
Really?
So, yeah, so before I even graduated, I had a full sleeve and my knuckles done.
Wow.
So I had kind of known, obviously at 16, 17 years old, starting to get heavily tattooed, people are trying to give you the best advice to look out for your future. And it was definitely taken into consideration, but I know what I want to look like, and if I'm not going to be accepted in a workplace because of the way I look, then it's probably not for me anyhow, so.
Right. Actually, speaking of that, this is on the paper, but your mom, Kristen, in my English class, told me that you recently were offered a job at Journeys, but you were going to have to cover up the tattoos on the side of your face and a little bit above your jawline.
Right. They had a pretty strict policy, and which is odd because I had worked for H&M and PacSun, H&M for over a year. And that's a fairly nice store. Not that it's anything special, but they didn't have a strict policy. So going into a store like Tilly's, it was very surprising to hear that
did I say Journeys?
You did.
I'm sorry. Tilly's.
They're pretty similar.
Similar, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was pretty odd, especially because it's such a relaxed workplace that it was a little shocked to hear that they wanted me to cover that up. But
right.
That's not really an option.
Yeah. I see why. So you just kind of if people don't accept you for the look that you want, then you're just not a part of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I have a great work ethic. I'm very passionate about what I try to spend my time doing. So
absolutely.
If the way I look is a problem, then I should probably just find somewhere else to be.
Right. All right. Well, that's interesting, actually. So let me move on. Let me play a song that you actually requested called For Your Precious Love by Otis Redding.
It's by Otis Redding. Oh, God, fair warning, everybody. I am such a hopeless romantic, but this song just I don't know if it's the sunlight that's been kind of peeking out the last couple of days, but I've just been really in the lovey-dovey spirit for sure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was listening to it a bit beforehand. It was pretty good. That's an ad. I don't want to play that, but yeah, let me play once 10 seconds passed. Thank you, YouTube. That's wonderful. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, this is a pretty good song. This is a pretty good song. I play just about anything on this show. Trust me. Like,
perfect. We got a good range today.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. So here is a song by Otis Redding called For Your Precious Love. Enjoy. All right. We're back. That was Otis Redding's For Your Precious Love. Pretty great song.
Yeah,
actually.
I feel amazing, actually.
I would have never thought about finding that song ever or anything like that, honestly. But it's cool. It's a really cool song. So, back to some good old-fashioned interview questions. So, I'll just start down here. Which was your first tattoo?
So my first tattoo was actually 5 years ago as of January.
Okay.
I got a quote on my chest that says, "Open your mind before your mouth."
Okay.
And that's from a band called Motionless in White.
Oh, really? Wait, that's a Motionless in White quote?
It is. It's
Really?
almost embarrassing to say in hindsight. Like at the time, loved that band. Where they've gone now,
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah, I completely agree with you there. But I mean, at the same time, it's something that you could really stick with. I was thinking about something to go straight along my chest. I know that you
Right.
have it curved or something like that.
Yeah.
I have it I wanted to get one straight across. So it's something. Oh man, I completely forget, to be honest. I wrote it down, but I will. I'll find that. It's some quote that's something that'll stick, really,
Right,
or something
right.
that I should follow. It's something that I should follow right now because I'm in my college years. I'm in my most humble adult years.
Right.
To come I'll most likely get bitter, in my 40s and 50s and stuff like that.
Let's hope not.
But yeah, I know, and that this should just something like that should just remind you to, I'm sorry again.
Open your mind before your mouth.
Yes, that's what it
I
is.
had kind of known at 16 that I was gonna end up looking pretty wild. At the time, I already had 2-inch holes in my ears, so I was like, all right,
Right.
it's probably good to keep an open mind because I look almost like a freak. You should see these ears when they're stretched. It's pretty wild.
Really?
Put your hand in it.
Oh,
I feel like that's probably
funny.
too big, right?
Oh no! When I was looking back trying to find your Monster Flames tattoo on your arm, I stumbled across the picture of you from prom. You had the glow sticks like a halo around your face, your
Yeah.
face, and you had your ears in it. It was so funny. I'm currently getting a call right now into the station, so I'll play a song really quick. I'll play a short one. I'll play "Wrong" by Eden. All right, stay on the line, ma'am/sir. Enjoy. Hello. The caller did not call back because I missed it. I'm very professional here. So that was fun. Well, whoever did call, I won't go to a break, and I will actually answer the phone right away if you do. Because that'd be great. I'm waiting for the light to start flashing. But before then, let's move on to a different question. Now, which tattoo holds the most meaning to you?
See, and that's a question I get a lot, and it's pretty difficult to pin down for sure because
Right.
I definitely invested a lot of thought and emotion into most of my work. I probably got 4 tattoos that are just on me for the sake of being art.
Right.
But I think if I had to pick one that really meant the most to me, it'd be the one on my right hand. I have a woman here who has her brain exposed and it wraps around her neck almost like a noose. I had gotten that when I was 18. Really was just struggling at the time to figure out what exactly I was supposed to be doing with my life, and I was kind of dealing with a lot of anxiety. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. Going out was very awkward for me, and I know this sounds weird, but I can't see my tattoos the way that everyone else does.
Right.
I can't look down at my neck or my chest.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that the ones on my hands were super meaningful because I'm going to be seeing those more often than any.
Right.
So this was kind of my reminder. I don't want my thoughts to be choking me up. I don't want to get lost in that anxiety again and feel so
Right.
choked up. So this was a really important piece for me to make sure that when I'm driving or whatever I'm doing, when I'm looking down at my hand, that I keep in the back of my mind that I control this anxiety. I don't want to let that choke me up and hinder my progress.
Okay. That's really, really cool. I actually have the most recent tattoo I got was a a dragonfly on the upper part of my back because my mother has a very similar tattoo. She first got it when our aunt, her best friend, my technical aunt, I just called her aunt,
Right.
Died of brain cancer like 6 years ago. And she got that about a year after, and during Christmas or something like that. And so I always admired that tattoo because it was colorful and stuff like that. It had 4 words. It was like peace, love, integrity, stuff like that. I forget the words honestly, and it's on my back. But and then she has her initials DL on each side of the body. So I was like, you know what, that's really cool, but I kind of want to get in my own design. So I have it in this like glassy kind of geometric effect.
Okay.
And it's got like little like geometric shapes like triangles and stuff like that coming off the wings and stuff like that.
Right.
But it has my mother's initials instead, but it has the same 4 words. And the one thing my mother wishes that she could have done differently with that tattoo is make the tail straight instead of curved. So I did that. So that was really just like a big thing for my mother,
right,
and
right.
I can barely ever see it. So
Yeah.
So I totally understand like the whole like the whole hand thing and stuff like that, which is why like I'll probably get something very important like somewhere where I can actually see it most of the time.
Where you can appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly, which is really, really cool. I really, really like that. And then the other one I have is actually like people consider very stupid, but it's the word Andy on the top of my foot from Toy Story.
Okay.
Because that was literally like my childhood. That's just kind of me remembering like how good of a life I've had, really.
Okay, right.
So, because literally like my parents would sit me down at 4:30 in the morning, watching this movie over and over again, maybe 4 times a week.
Wow.
And it was, yeah, I was a weird child, but
that's a classic for
oh
sure.
yeah, oh it's such a classic. But yeah, most people think it's weird, but like I'm gonna wear socks like most of my life, so like unless I'm like at the beach or in my house, like you're not gonna be able to see it. But I will, and I'll appreciate it because you know I had a great life. But so answer that question. Okay, so what do the tattoos on the side of your face represent / mean? Because I never knew what those was. Those the ones like that are basically on your sideburns.
Right,
kind of.
right. Yeah, and it's funny because so many people ask me, like, what language is that? What does that mean? And it's always very embarrassing to be like, actually, this is written in English. It's just in a pretty wild font.
Yeah, because I didn't want to say like different language or what language it was because
Right.
you never want to, you know, it's 2018, I can't assume anything.
Yeah. On my left side, it says love. On my right side, it says fear. Fear is a little harder to decipher.
Right.
But I had gotten those last summer. I had just moved back to the East Coast from Denver.
Okay.
And I had just kind of like noticed this reoccurring cycle. Like I'd said, like I had dealt with anxiety for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Was really hard on myself, and I had noticed this trend of just getting caught up in like my own doubts and fears, and they were, you know, really preventing me from chasing the things that I really wanted in life. And you know, I just found myself like sheltered and like chasing this like isolation. It wasn't getting me anywhere, and I knew that wasn't what I wanted, you know, but it was hard to like get out of.
Right.
And the same thought went into it with my hand that I have on my face, is that I'm going to see this every time I look in the mirror. You
Right.
know? And especially because now that I'm modeling, I'm seeing more pictures of myself, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's my little reminder that, you know, for so long I let fear dictate my decision making, and that got me absolutely nowhere. It actually brought me backwards. You know, it hindered my progress completely.
Right.
And I couldn't really pin down when, but sometime last year I just had woken up with this epiphany that like love on all, like in all aspects, whether it be platonic or family or romantic, like love is ultimately the only thing that I really like hope to get out of this life. Like I want to love wholeheartedly and genuinely to everybody that I encounter, and I would appreciate the same, you know. So I'm not going to live, you know, in fear anymore. That's the whole point, was to make sure that whatever decision I'm making, wherever I'm going in life, whatever I'm chasing,
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure that this is for the greater good, for my own well-being, and that it's going to benefit somebody else as well.
Right. Wow. All right. Wow. I'm actually like a little in shock. All right, because that's really cool. Like I love hearing like meaning behind tattoos and stuff like that. And that's the thing that like my father's very against tattoos, and he was very upset when he found my 3 by accident. I was supposed to tell him, but then he found them by accident. So so like that's kind of my mindset, is like I'm only gonna get something that really, like you said, you have them like some tattoos just because they look
Right, like 4 or 5.
Yeah. But like I feel like I'm saying like way too many times. I will most likely get just tattoos that are very, very meaningful, which is why why I don't think I'll ever get like a full sleeve or anything like that, because there's just going to be like little pieces of my life and stuff like that I want to remember, and stuff that I want to like have myself remember. You know what I mean? Like I really like a lot of the tattoos that like not other people have. There's a lot of stuff that's very artistic and that I find very appealing, but unless it like really like affects my life in a huge way, then I don't think I'll get it. But like I really like respect all the tattoos that you have, which is really cool. Really, really cool. One more question, then we'll take another song break. But are there any tattoos that you regret or wish that you could have just done something different with? Or something like that.
Regret, definitely not. Very, very happy with everything that I have currently.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all of my work done by my best friend, Kenny Beers. He works in Bangor, Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at a shop called Platinum Cuts. It's co-owned, so it's a barbershop and tattoo shop.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, but he is absolutely incredible. I mean, since I was 16 and up, he's just been like absolutely like killing every single thing that I've asked from him. Like he delivers every time. He's so talented, and I wouldn't say that I regret anything or that I would change anything, but I think it's funny to look back and see like the sleeve that I had developed when I was 17 compared to like my more recent work. You can tell that I've gotten like a much better idea of the aesthetic that I'm looking for.
Right.
And yeah, it's I guess if I could go back, I probably would just like rearrange some things, maybe. Just make them a little more smooth. But overall, I'm super pleased with all of them.
I'm pretty sure most people are like you know, all your 30, what is it, 3,200 right now?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. All right, now really quick, we'll go to another song break now. We're going to go to a... Hang on. Oh, my computer went idle. Hang on one second. I'm doing this with one hand. Okay, on. All right, cool. I'm smooth. All right, now, we're going to go to a really nice, smooth, slow jam. It's, hang on one second. Let me make sure there's no ad. Oh, look at that. There's an ad. So, but luckily, there's a skip button. Okay. We're going to go to a nice, really smooth, slow jam. Now... Please enjoy the song You Won't Be Missed by Like Monster Flames. Enjoy. Hi. You got debated. So that was You Won't Be Missed by Like Monster Flames. Probably like I go to sleep to that song. Like that's like the most mellow song I know.
You fooled me on that one, that's for sure.
Did I actually? That's funny. Oh yeah, you started dying. Okay, moving along from your tattoos, like it says on your Instagram bio that you're also a writer.
Correct.
What kind of writing do you do?
So largely poetry. That's been the go-to. I was always a big fan of poetry for the last couple of years. Really always been a big fan of reading in general, but I think when I had picked up my first like real book of poetry, it just kind of like struck a chord, and I knew that I had been in bands growing up. I knew that I had like a talent for writing. I really enjoyed just getting out, you know, however I could. And my beautiful, wonderful mother, she was so kind to give me almost an antique. It's about 83 years old. It's an Underwood typewriter, and she gave that to me early for my 21st birthday.
A typewriter?
A typewriter. I had asked for one for a while, and I guess she just felt I finally earned it, you know? So... She brought that home, and I definitely like geeked out for a good hour or two and just typed everything that I could possibly fit onto one piece of paper. Apparently we only had one single sheet of paper in the house when I first got this. So I had squeezed like 30 very short poems onto one piece of paper, and at this point I just want to like frame it as like my first couple attempts at using it, but it took so long to get that thing like restored. It's so old.
Right. Oh man, that sounds really cool, actually. Do you post it anywhere? Like, is there any way that we can find your writing?
So I've posted 2 poems so far on my Instagram, just to kind of see the feedback I'd get. I know, like, most people on my Instagram are looking for pictures of my tattoos, and it's totally respectable. But I'd posted 2 just to see the feedback I'd get and see, you know, what people thought of it, where I could improve. And I got a lot of good feedback, but I guess I'm still just a little insecure with it. You know, I'm not 100% on my style. I definitely want to rework it, but I've been working on a book for about 7 months now, and very recently I decided to scrap more than half of it, actually, to start fresh. I had written just so many poems that were so sad and so focused on heartbreak. And
Right.
at the time, that's exactly where I was at and what I was feeling. But this being the first book that I'm going to publish and put out there, I want to make sure that it leaves a mark and really reflects who I am. So although some poems are going to touch on heartbreak and loss, like these are all very common things, I want to make sure that the overall theme is very uplifting, very optimistic, and very positive, to show you that you can overcome all of that nonsense. It's just a matter of expressing it,
Right.
in a healthy way.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Completely 100%. Like, there's just been, like even recently, like, I've just been, like, I'm trying to play more positive music, just, like, to myself and stuff like that, and just trying to be, like, a more positive person, really, kind of. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, positivity has always been, like, a huge thing for me. There was, like, a huge, like, saying that not a huge saying, but, like, it was just something I said to all my friends, because a lot of them are in high school and stuff. And in high school, I treated it like college, because in my freshman year, I doubled up on math, and then my senior year, it was like I had college classes like every other day. Like, I had one class to go to every other day, and then 3 classes every other, and it was mostly study halls. Like, it was like the most beautiful, like, schedule I've ever seen in high school in my life. So I enjoyed myself, and there was times where, like, I could have slept until like 11, but I always hung out with my friends because I'm a very extroverted person. So they're all like, well, how do you do that? Like, I would totally sleep in. But, like, I love making a positive impact on people.
Absolutely. I just had coffee, and this is kind of interesting, but my best friend is 44 years old, soon to be 45. He is an old teacher of mine from high school, but
really,
good Lord, do I love that guy. And I actually just saw him the day before I came here, and I told him, I've been in some pretty low points for sure. I still consider myself a bit of a sad boy. I think it's pretty evident in my Instagram post. I'm a sad boy at heart, but I told him today, like, perpetually sad for sure, but, like, eternally grateful. Like, after seeing, where I was at and the way that I was viewing things, like, I wake up every day now. I wake up to a little bird knocking on my window, and I just wake up to that. I have my coffee. I get to hang out with my bird, who I've named Roscoe now. Like,
yeah, I was gonna literally ask you, how's Roscoe? Because I literally, like, when I first was thinking, like, hey, maybe I should ask Kristen if I can interview her son, and I was like, and then I look at the story, I'm like, yo, there's this little bird that remembered me after a year of being gone, and just slams on the window. I was like, I gotta have this guy in the studio. Like, that was just the funniest thing, and I see it, like, all the time. Like, yeah, we're gonna get a birdhouse for Roscoe. I'm like, this guy's awesome. So
it was so weird to have him back. And I know that sound all too well. So, after not hearing it for a year, I remember, like, waking up and, like, hearing the thump initially, and I was like, wow, if I didn't know any better, I'd like to think that bird is at my window. And I was like, whatever, I'll just roll back over, go back to bed. But he is persistent, man. He really wants to hang out, and I respect the hustle for sure. So
that's funny.
I'm super glad to have him. I have a domesticated wild animal. I'm so proud of myself.
That's so funny. That's awesome. But okay, so wait, is there any? Okay, I think I asked you, and you said how long you've been writing for and stuff like that. So, okay, this is just a quick question. Like, how long did you have your ear stretched for? Like when did you kind of, like, decide and start, and then?
I think I was 14. I was a freshman in high school, and I, like most people who gauge their ears, had the intention of just going to, like, a very small, almost not noticeable size.
Yeah, I don't know if you see it, but, like, I'm at, like, a 10 right now, but I was at a 00, like, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I always told my dad that they were, like, fake or whatever, the circles and then the lines and circles. But that's just because I really enjoy it. I really like gauges a lot. But then my dad got a little upset with me and just politely asked if I close them. I'm like, all right. I mean, and this is around the time when, like, I'm going to be going for, like, I really want a new job, so I'm totally going to go to different job interviews and stuff like that, and internships and stuff like that. So I completely get it. So, but I will be getting more tattoos, Dad. I will be getting more tattoos. I hope you know that.
Can't stop it all.
Yeah, and like it's the stuff I like.
I really wish I had, like, gauged my ears later on in life,
Right.
Like, right now that I have tattoos everywhere, it's it would blend in a little better. But
right.
when I was 17, and I had like 3 tattoos, and my ears were 2.5 inches. I just looked really weird, and I don't know. It made me more aerodynamic for sure.
Right.
So I was much quicker.
It made me more aerodynamic.
Like now I'm much slower than I was before. But I think I'm done with the gauges for now.
Right. That was what I was gonna ask you. Is like, why did you decide to take them out, or how did you get in that? And I think you were talking to the people in the It Is What It Is show before we started about it, actually. And I was curious.
Yeah. So I had moved out west, and I packed everything that I've ever owned. Like I brought things that I would never need, like little trinkets from like when I was 10.
Right.
But somehow I forgot the jewelry that I put in my ears every day. So by the time I got there, I was like, all right, make sure to like on the to-do list, put something in your ears just to make sure they don't shrink. And I never got around to that. And by the time I finally had plugs available, they had shrunk, and I was just like, all right, I guess They've been compared to calamari, and honestly, I'm starting to like this look. I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to like it. Like the idea of sewing my ears just seems like weird. I'm like known for having these dangly little ears.
Right. That's fine. I like it. It's all good. And then we're only like we have like 20 minutes left, so let me play a song really quick. I'll tell you what. Give me one moment. My screen went idle again. All right, let me play a quick banger off of Black Bear's new album, Cyber.
Oh, we're gonna groove.
And yeah, we're gonna groove. This is Anxiety by Black Bear. Enjoy.
Oof. Thought about it.
A jam. I usually say that, like, that's just like kind of a catchphrase I have now on my show. Well, oh yeah, I was gonna explain this to you. Okay, so anyway, that was Anxiety by Black Bear. Great jam. So basically, I was talking about my intro, and my intro is the show that needs no intro. Talk about everything and play just about anything above the ceiling, and the roof is above the building, because my DJ name is technically DJ Ceiling, Sealing.
Okay.
It's just really stupid, because it originally started with my friend Becca, who her name is DJ Roof, Ruuff, and like it's just something really dumb that we came up with, and so it started with us, and then we just like, all right, your name is DJ Roof, mine's DJ Ceiling, weirdly worded, and then we were like, what should the show name be? And then I believe it was Josh Coleman, DJ Mellow Marsh, his show's actually right after mine. He was like, yo, the Doghouse, and we're like, nah, and then we were like, no, that's gonna stick. We're gonna use it. So, but Becca actually got a little too busy for the radio and stuff like that. She started bailing on my shows like for 3 weeks in a row, and then I got a little upset. So I was like, listen, are you gonna do it, and then
be DJ Roof?
Are you gonna be DJ Roof? Are you gonna be the roof to my ceiling or something like that? But yeah. So now the intro is the roof has been blown off the building. So yeah, that's how I used to want to have the show called The Attic when it was me and Becca, because it was above the ceiling and then below the roof, so it was like in that center area. So the attic. So like I thought that would be pretty cool, but you know the Doghouse was too good to stick, or too good to not use. So yeah, that's why we chat. That's why that intro thing is there. But what was I was gonna ask you something. I completely forget. Oh yeah, the one thing I saw on your Instagram, like when I just kind of like went through and like was curious, like when I was looking through for your like Moss of Flames tattoo, I noticed you had like a lot of piercings at one point, like snake bites and stuff like that. Like yeah, like how did you get started with that, and like when? Like I think you had a lip piercing like very early. Yeah.
I had one single lip piercing when I was in the 10th grade, and then I soon realized that symmetry is like very, very important to me. I try to keep like my tattoo symmetrical. I try to keep everything like in check, and so eventually I decided I needed to get the other side pierced. And then when I did that, I figured I keep seeing all these great-looking people with this little diamond under their eye.
Oh yeah.
What is that? So then I found out that they're like $50, and it hurts horribly for like about a half a second. So I got a dermal, and that was ripped out 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible, and all 3 times like totally preventable situations. Like I got out the shower one time, just like went to dry my face, ripped it out with a towel.
Oh.
I had a friend of mine, I gave her a hug, and she has very, very curly hair.
Oh.
Just so happened to catch my
dermal and rip it out of my face.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, it was horrifying, and I'm like very uneasy around blood, so it was pretty weird.
Oh, that doesn't sound like fun.
That being said, I'm probably gonna go get it back in like 2 weeks. I like desperately miss it. I love it so much.
Nice, very nice. That's really funny, actually. It's hilarious. All right, my parents are probably listening, but like I already talked to my dad about this. So he's very worried about me, getting tattoos on like my neck or hands or something like that, because he's worried about like me not getting as many job opportunities. So which I completely get, and since like I'm going for more of like just kind of a a memorial kind of aesthetic, kind of like little tattoos that are meaningful to me.
Right.
So when people see the word Andy on my foot, they're like, ew, what is that? That doesn't look cool. I'm like, well, I mean, it's meaningful to me, so yeah, doesn't matter to you. It matters to me.
Right.
But what I wanted to get for a while was like my nose pierced, but I really like the one on the outside, but I told my dad, like, usually there's like a hole left over, like it closes, but it's still noticeable and you can clearly see that you had one. So that's why I'm thinking like at some point I may get like my septum pierced, because once you can even like flip it, you can flip it up into your nose and then you can't see it and you still have it. Or when you take it out, you literally can't see it anymore, or like you can't see where the hole is. That's why, I don't know if you noticed this, I have daith piercings in my ears to help with my migraines.
Oh, okay.
Right here, yeah, they're like in the innermost part of my ear.
Right.
And they got rid of my migraines. I haven't had a migraine in like 6 months.
That's insane.
I know,
I get
right?
pretty gnarly migraines, but I never...
Oh yeah, no. When I got this piercing, I blacked out.
Really?
I fainted. Yeah, it was really painful. I think it was mostly because I didn't drink enough water and ate enough before getting it.
Yeah, those are important things.
Those are a little important, but yeah, like there was just so much built up pressure on like the right side. That's where I got all my migraines. Like it was so painful. But this side, like, it didn't hurt like at all. It was just mainly because of all the pressure built up in this side of my head.
Right.
It was awful, but it was totally worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally
I can't
worth
even
it.
notice those, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Like I tried doing like curved barbells.
Right.
Like so then you could just hide them in your ear. They were impossible to get in. But then it fell out, so that kind of didn't work. So then I just got really small captive rings, which is cool. Now let me move back on. Let me move on to something else. I wanted to ask about the neck tattoo, actually, the one like right in front with like the hands covering the eyes, but they're tattooed on like on those hands around your. Yeah, they're on her hands. Yeah. I'm curious about that. Like, I'm curious.
So like I said, I used to be very into books.
Right.
Honestly, nowadays I'm really only reading poetry. But when I had first like really gotten hooked on books, I was reading a lot of like philosophy and Eastern like spirituality, and Alan Watts, Terence McKenna, and Ram Dass were three people who just like really struck a chord with me, really made like the bigger picture almost like evident, you know, like they really like spelled it out for me what I was lacking or what I was missing out on. And I had read that book I think the day before my great-grandmother passed away. And it's like a very heavy book. It's called The Book by Alan Watts, and it's essentially like an alternative to religion, still giving like praise to God, but just like I guess a different idea of what that really means. And when it just that book has always really meant so much to me that I felt like if I was going to put something on my throat, if I was going to have people, you know, constantly looking at it and making comments, it needed to be something worth talking about. And that's the one. I mean, it's a little scary for some people too. I noticed that like children and dogs are very uncomfortable that I have 4 eyes on the front here. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a neat one. We wanted to like portray the idea of God as like against the traditional view. So it's like a woman, and it's very like dark piece on my neck. So like, you know, God is normally thought of as like a male figure. So we wanted to like switch it up, kind of give like an overall change to the idea of what it is. But
all right, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. I was gonna say like that's the other thing is like any tattoo I have, like I want it to have a deep story, not just like a floral pattern. Like I want to also get a floral pattern on my hips, like below my waistline, because that's actually where I used to like hurt myself in high school when it was a really dark time. So I was gonna just get like a floral pattern, like beautiful, like artistic
Right,
floral
right.
pattern over it, and like when people are like if weirdly someone sees that, they'll be like, oh, what's that? Like, oh, that's just flowers. Okay, it looks cool, and I'm like, no, it's actually this, and like, you know, it's something you gotta have tattoos that are worth talking about.
Right,
really.
right.
It's really like so the fact that you have like a story for like most, if not all, your tattoos, like is really 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 cool.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, people ask about the same ones typically pop up pretty often. It's usually the throat, the head, the face,
Right.
and the knuckles. But I like am very pleased when people like come up to me and ask.
Oh, yeah.
They're like very interested in what I have because like I mean, this is literally like a wild story of just like what's been happening in the last 21 years of this wild little dude's life.
Yeah.
So
I really like it.
Yeah, it's a
Really
fun
like
one.
it.
It's a fun one.
Let me play one more song. I'm trying to think of a good one. Let me play Something Real by Black Bear off of his Drink Bleach EP. Enjoy. Wait, let me check. There's no ad, and there's no ad. That's awesome. All right, enjoy. Hello. I decided to cut that song off a little early because I forgot. I have to ask Julian here, do you have any future projects, events, endeavors that you're very excited about and want to plug?
I do. Goodness, this is so exciting. So first and foremost, definitely stay tuned with the book. The book is going to be a very big part of how I've spent the last 6-7 months and how I intend to spend the rest of this year. I'm putting absolutely everything I have into this, so you know,
Right.
It'll be available on Amazon. I'll be publishing through them.
Yep.
So
And now you know how to put the link in your bio.
yeah, I just learned that today. Goodness, I wish I knew that earlier. So I'll be working on that. I'm also working on an album right now with my old guitarist. We reconnected
really?
after like 4 years of being apart, and it is just like it's coming together so beautifully. I've like never
Really?
been so proud of something. So,
Wow.
and that'll be nice too, because then you can kind of like put the face to the song rather than like in a book. You know, that's just my writing. You could really, it's anonymous almost.
Right.
So that's a big one. I have some ridiculous shoots coming up. I'm so excited to be working with people that I've like recently come into. I've met this amazing photographer, Alyssa Morris. She has just been killing it. Most of my most like recent pictures on Instagram were shot by her. She is absolutely helping me out so much. She takes such amazing shots, and that's kind of difficult when you look like me. So she's really talented for sure. And we have some really interesting shoots planned out. Some of them are more like storyline based, you know, more of like a reflection of you know, who I am as an individual, which is very exciting. I'm actually now finally moving into the arena of shooting with other people, like other models. So I'll be doing like one of my first shoots with another model, a beautiful friend of mine, Savannah, and
Cool.
that's in, I don't know, in the next couple of weeks. We're still kind of ironing out the details for that.
Right.
And the most important thing that I definitely want to touch on is a very, very close friend of mine. I've known him since I was about 13. His name is Nick Russo. Last year, he started his own nonprofit called American Way Disaster Relief. And he basically just wanted to help with the hurricane victims in Texas, in Florida, and Puerto Rico. He's gone out there, I want to say 4 or 5 times now in the last 6 months. He's constantly doing that, and he works full time, so he's really juggling a lot. And he's just making like an incredible impact on so many people's lives. So in 9 days from today, or maybe 8 days, we're leaving for Puerto Rico for 10 days. We're going to be going and doing disaster relief. So, you know, moving generators around and making sure that people are, you know, at least have clean water and food and electricity accessible, hopefully. We'll also be building a house for a retired Army veteran who is pregnant and homeless at the moment because there's so much that needs to be done on the island, you know. So we'll be doing that. You can definitely check it out, American Way Disaster Relief, on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're at. Totally worth giving it a check for sure. The people definitely need the help, and yeah, he's really onto something beautiful here, so I'm very excited to be doing that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. But I didn't want to interrupt you. But what genre of music is really like your stuff? Like you said, old guitarist. So is it like kind of a slow acoustic rock kind of thing, or?
So this is actually that's the hard part for sure. We have a very interesting taste in music, like a very wide palette, I'd say. And when we were in a band together, it was a hardcore band. So I was the hardcore vocalist. He was our guitarist. Well, he started off as our bassist actually, and then moved to our guitarist. But super talented kid. He's very like he moved into the producing aspect now, so he's been producing our music as well, and he's able to track his guitar. So we'll be letting out some hardcore music for sure. That's like where my roots
cool.
are at. But I wouldn't want to like say that I'm in a specific genre, but I'm very much influenced by like Eden and
Okay.
you know, Chase Atlantic. Like I like the mix of like hip hop and electronic, but still like being able to like slow it down, you know, evoke emotion through these songs. And yeah, this has been like such a wild ride. Like we have music videos planned out now. We have all these, you know, all these amazing photographers that I work with, like are so willing to help out and do, you know, whatever they can to like make this all possible. So so many like amazing projects that are coming up, and
oh man,
yeah, no, honestly, I'm very excited to show everyone.
I'm excited too. Actually, I'm a fan. But oh man, that's crazy. I'm actually my friends that I was talking about, Two Types on SoundCloud, was they just recorded their first music video, and since I was good friends with them like back in high school, and we just recently reconnected. I said like, listen, I'm a Picasso with post-production video editing, especially when like I'm given the right video. So if I could shoot like one of your songs for you, that would be cool. So my first ever music video that I'm going to be filming and editing is hopefully going to be their song Telephone Calls, but that's most likely going to be a huge summer project that I'm going to put most, if not all, my time into, which is going to be so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So cool. I'm so excited. All right, well, Josh Coleman's show should be coming up soon, so thank you for listening to The Doghouse. I just choked a little bit. Thanks for listening to The Doghouse, the show that needs no outro. We talk about everything and play just about anything above the ceiling. The roof has been blown off the building. Thank you so much, Julian Greene.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, what a pleasure. All right. Now make sure you go follow Julian Greene on Instagram, Julian Greene2, and Julian Greene1 on Twitter. And be sure to look out for all of his other projects. Is there any shout-outs? I'm sorry. Is there anything else that you want?
I would absolutely love to give a shout-out to first my beautiful mother, who you know and you'll probably see in English class tomorrow.
Yeah.
My tattoo artist who made all of this possible, Ken Beers, amazing guy. And yeah, I mean, all the photographers that I've been working with, Tristan, Alyssa, Joey, Lee, Anthony, everyone that I work with, honestly, I owe this all to them. I'm literally just a goofball standing in front of a camera, so this is honestly amazing.
Oh, man. Oh, it's such a pleasure, dude. All right. Well, you're listening to 90.3 WESS, East Stroudsburg University, East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I'm going to switch it back over to the BBC Radio. Thank you all for listening to The Doghouse, and be sure to come back next week. Bye-bye.